were talking a little bit about the community support, that type of thing. So let's talk about community support first, then we'll move on to the education, human resources, and then the funding stuff.
Okay.
Okay?
I came to town back in 2000, to reopen a factory that was closed, and I found very early that all of the, community groups really support manufacturing, whether it's by helping on recruitment, helping on programs that will bring funding related to hiring, and also on I don't know what else to say.
That's all right.
There you go.
Can you tell me a little bit about the workers you have that you've got from Sault Ste. Marie education-wise and any skill levels?
First, on the engineering side, there is a great pool of engineers with background and experience on mechanical issues, but mainly on robotics. One of the things that advanced manufacturing has is a need for engineers with robotics and automation background. We are very lucky in this community to have LSSU. It's a great school that has history on forming professionals, particularly on automation and robotics. Historically has been a great source for individuals that are from Sault Ste. Marie and want to stay in Sault Ste. Marie. That's a very important thing for us. It is very difficult to bring younger people up to Sault Ste. Marie. The opportunities in manufacturing are many. However, we need to make our secret of how wonderful this community is known in other places. It's very easy to hire people from Sault Ste. Marie because nobody wants to leave. However, it is more difficult to bring people to learn about what our community is and what happened to me, right? I came to Sault Ste. Marie after living in other different countries, 3 to be specific, and we never left.
Awesome. And can you tell us a little bit about the funding that...
I'm not saying why we never left, but it doesn't matter.
Can you tell us a little bit about the funding available in Northern Ontario?
Yes. One of the reasons why Helian is in Sault Ste. Marie is thanks to the Northern Ontario Heritage Fund. The Northern Ontario Heritage Fund is the investment arm of the Ministry of Northern Development and Mines. It has and historically has had very effective programs to allow companies like ours to invest on equipment, capital expenditure that allows startup companies to start. But what is more important nowadays for us, with 3.5 years of history, is to find funding for applied research and development, whether it is to improve manufacturing processes or to develop new products. The Heritage Fund has 2 new programs. One that would be for development of products from an early stage, and a second one that we cover pre-commercialization. This is very important. Is rather very new, has been in place only since the end of October 2013, and we're taking advantage of it by being a company that's located in Northern Ontario. To be able to apply, you need to be located in Northern Ontario.
Now that you've been in the Sioux for a while, you're raising a family here. Can you tell me a little bit about raising a family in Sault Ste. Marie?
I'm originally from a 10,000 people town, so I appreciate what it is to live in a small town. However, my wife is from a 14 million people city, but she was able to adapt to Sault Ste. Marie very quickly, mainly because, when you're raising a family, it doesn't matter whether, you live 100 meters away from an opera house. you will never go because you don't have the time. You're raising a family, basically running from one place to another and driving your kids to one place to another. The advantage of Sault Ste. Marie is that within 10 or 15 minutes you can literally go from one end to the other end of town. It is very safe, right? We give that for granted. Those that live here, we don't think of what it is, but when your kids take a bike and go to school and come back and you don't even think about it, I mean, it's rather very important and we don't think about it. And the other thing is, within 20 minutes, any evening in the summer, you can go to the beach, right? I mean, in how many cities on earth, right, you can say, okay, let's go and have a picnic on the beach on a weekday, right, in the summer, or go skiing within 30 minutes of your house.
What do your children think of Sault Ste. Marie? You can give us their perspective. Well, you're telling me a little bit about
Really?
Really?
Okay, let's go with the lie.
Your son being involved, right? He's involved in community activities. He's involved in music and Sault Ste. Marie.
No, I mean, when
we
we came to town, my son was 18 months old, so he barely spoke anything. My daughter was 5 years old, and she had to start elementary school a week after, and she didn't speak a single word of English, right? So for them now, 13 and a half years later, Sault Ste. Marie is all they know, is all they remember. So they are literally from here. They're very attached to the community, right? I mean, this city has a lot to offer, whether it's on the sports side, or on the music, or theater. My daughter plays violin and the clarinet, and we forced her to practice for as many years as I can remember. But now, I mean, she lives in Ottawa, and she goes with her violin to different places and performs in university. And we have a music conservatory that is the second in size in Ontario, right? It's second after the Royal Conservatory in Toronto. So that brings lots of opportunities for those kids that are musically inclined, and is accessible and is close to your house.